Hello everyone. Sound check, sound check. How are we doing tonight? Sound check good, thank you. All right. So as you noticed, we run these streams every second week instead. So we have a little bit more time in between, and that does give us a little bit more preparation time, and hopefully a little bit more interesting and up to date for everyone joining in. Hello God Emperor, hello Avira TV. How are we all doing today?
Oh my god, another one.
Yeah, so we're collecting a lot of feedback, obviously, since TC went live. Obviously, we were hoping that we would collect as much as possible during PTR, but we are fully aware of that, you know, everyone are not able to participate, and, you know, for various reasons, right, that people can't participate during PTR to help us cover some of those things. But yeah, we are collecting the feedback now, at least, also discovering some of the issues regarding TC. And we're collecting that, putting it together, confirming and verifying all of that, so we can try to follow up with adjustment, tweaks, and specific updates to some of those systems that you've been giving feedback on as of lately. So we're still collecting. We want to make sure that we cover it all in a good upcoming patch when we focus on those things, rather than just, you know, going back and forth to try to get those numbers correctly. Stellar Rex, thank you for the Prime. 9 months. Appreciate it. New to the game, still in Haven. Love it so far. Sul Faustia, thank you, and welcome to Mortal Online. Awesome to hear that you are enjoying yourself so far. This game have a lot to discover and learn. It has a little bit of a steep learning curve, I would say. And you know, obviously it takes time to go over it all, but eventually hopefully we'll pinpoint those areas that interest you most in the game. So yeah, Haven is a good place to remain on for a while, to figure things out, building a character a little bit, experiment and test in a quite safe environment. And then later, when you do leave Haven, enter Milan, that's when the real adventure and challenges starts as well. Can we see dragon armor? No dragon armor. Herr Fruchtlush. So as you know, I've said it a few more times before, I don't handle any bans. You write that I ban someone. I don't. Our GMs and staff members monitor very closely the game and all the players, and they handle all that kind of actions. And I want to say it one more time. Our GMs don't wake up one day and think, I'm gonna ban that guy. It just doesn't happen, right? So obviously there's a reason, and that reason is not something we are not going into here. And obviously if this person feels something is wrong, he must reach out to our staff members so they can respond to him, which they always do. You may not hear the real response from that person in those cases, but we do respond. So yeah. Like I said, if anyone feels that there's anything wrong, make sure you contact support those accounts and persons involved, that is. You can't contact for another person, as you can understand. We'll be getting a second card slot. So that will be the Diva system that we talked about over the year. Like I said before, we need to reach a certain milestone first with Unreal 5, and that's when we also can build the upcoming roadmaps after that. And you're going to help us build those roadmaps quite a bit. And I'm getting closer to announce the first batch of options for the community. It will be in one of my upcoming streams, and you will help to dive in, vote, put your words on what areas you would like to see first in the game. So there will be plenty of options to choose from, so we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Put subs on Steam. Let us sub through Steam. That is not currently possible. Highly recommend joining a guild as soon as you leave. That's what I did, and it's what helped keep me in the game. Camtyke, yes, that is a very powerful tool. So obviously our game is heavily based on player interaction, right? So if you play with a few friends or meet new friends, that is a very powerful thing, and it also elevates the gaming experience in several areas. So that's a good suggestion indeed. What software are animators animating? We are mainly using Maya. GMs didn't explain what happened to him, but they do. They do always respond. Like I said, there are common cases where a banned player isn't happy with the response, and they don't go tell their friends all the truth. They actually say, well, I was framed, I was innocent, and I don't get any response. In 9 out of 10 cases, there may be an exception, right? When I look into a case when someone claims they never got a response at all, they got at least 3 responses, and they keep repeating themselves. I'm not saying this is the case, right? I'm just pointing out the absolutely most common case that you have to consider before thinking we don't act correctly or responds. We're very serious about this project, and obviously we are making everything we can to handle our customers as good as possible and make sure the game is free and clean from cheaters, etc. And we take it very seriously. Good evening, Skynal.
Oh my god, another one.
Kurandas, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. Let me catch up a little bit here. Hello, Henrik. Hope you're doing well, sir. Thank you. Yahama. Sorry for that. I'm good. I'm doing good. A little bit stressed, but that's the usual, right? In a bolt storage for Ballista and Stronghold. Yeah, we discussed that as well. Like I said, we're getting proper feedback for TC, which we hope to get a little bit more of during PTR. But like I said, fully understandable why this is, right? So we collect everything we can right now, and we will follow up. Betel, that is also correct. That is also true. Just started playing about a week ago, and I'm excited to see more sieges happen and raiding go down. So initially there was a lot of races going on. Everyone was building, collecting, researching, and farming prominence, right? And since then, now actually quite a lot of sieges have happened. I don't know if many of them are public. People are quite careful about not streaming or covering their plans or in real time, because obviously big investment in those sieges, so you want to have all the odds in your favor. But we've seen quite a lot from above, and there's been quite a lot already. So that obviously also helps to give us a lot of feedback based on those events. Yeah, so I don't know all the details when it comes to the Mana Guild. We have talked to the people involved. We talked to Mana, obviously. We brought it up on a meeting, obviously. Quite critical, and we need to be very careful when it comes to our staff members doing mistakes or similar. So we're doing everything we can to, eliminate such mistake from happening ever again, and obviously assist in the guild to recover from that mistake. So yeah, it was pretty much a mistake that we have taken care of, and also staff members are working with mana to recover what had been done falsely, right? Yeah, we commented on the dagger weak spot as well. As we mentioned before, we have a lot of feedback when it comes to overall balance, including daggers. And like we mentioned then, again, it's not following the game design when it comes to how weak spot happens, and we will follow up on that as well. Once the Epic game release on Epic, would it be possible for you to guys to allow the transfer of characters between Steam and Epic accounts? I'm not 100% sure. So right now we are working on the final step there, and I need Sebastian to 100% confirm all these steps before we can go fully public with exactly the details on that one. So we will get back on that. Let me catch up a little bit here. Can I have 2 character slots per account? So that would be the Diva system. We call it the Diva system. We designed it quite a while ago, but you know, we had a lot of discussion when it comes to that. We fully understand that a lot of people will obviously see more another character slot to be able to try out more things, try out other builds without having to redo their current character, and that is what we call the character system, the Diva system. That is kind of almost like a sibling system where a lot of things are shared between them. But yeah, we need to finalize some of those question marks in that system. We need to confirm if it's suitable and when that may be an option for us. Left Haven 1 day ago, and now I am full focus on fishing. Robin, 100%. Fishing is a really cool system in Mortal Online. There's a lot to learn about it. It's quite complex and interesting. We have some really pro veteran fishermen in our game that knows a lot of the depth there. But yeah, it's a really cool system, and it will also be expanded on even more in the future. Didn't know you hired animators. I thought it's only you and Farmer Joe and the GM Mud. No, we're not 2 developers only in this project. That wouldn't give us a game until 50 years or so. We are about 40 developers in total in various positions when it comes to the development. So around 40 developers. So still a very small team. We are an independent game company. No giants behind us backing up, so we are limited in resources. Obviously, we have to do things quite uniquely to work with us, and we, are working on the most challenging game project ever to seen planet Earth, which the giant can confirm with as well. You have to almost need to be a little bit mad to do such project, but this is also what we are very passionate about, obviously, as you may have noticed. And we are in a very exciting position now after these about 16 years of development. And we are on the absolute frontier when it comes to some areas to do a true sandbox MMORPG. And now another huge step forward is obviously transitioning over to Unreal Engine 5, which we are getting quite close to. So that's also very exciting for the entire team and obviously the entire community. Digital Fox Ghost, thank you a lot for those gifts. Very, very generous of you. Demoman, yes, we will have an update on the partner program before we launch Epic.
Oh my god, another one.
Another one.
All right. Let me jump down. I think I'm way behind, guys. So sorry for being a little bit slow here. What's your plans with archery? So one of the options you're gonna see soon in the community interaction is combat melee system update, or whatever we call it, right? And that is additional special moves with every single weapon group we have in the game currently. One of them is archery, right? So you're gonna see all of those functions, all the groups of combat will elevate. There will be additional tactics and options.
Oh my god, another one. Another one.
Dakart, yeah, like I said, we are now for the first time collecting the feedback and data on sieges, and we are collecting all of that to make sure we have do the proper adjustments and don't go back and forth big leaps in wrong directions, causing chaos, you know, all of that. We couldn't get all that feedback and data during PTR, so we're getting it now instead. So as I mentioned before, we are following up on that, tweaking, fine adjusting with TC. I mean, like I said, again, we are a small company, small team, and still a small community compared to the giants out there, right? Which means we can't just push a button and get 5,000 players playing non-stop in our PTR to give us all this feedback, bug reports, everything. That would be obviously very efficient and great if that was the case, but only a few major companies in the world have the resources and community, amount of players available to do that more efficiently. So we do absolutely what we can with what we have, and we are extremely, happy with all of your support, helping us bringing this game to the best possible level in the world, right? Please tell we're looking for a new server provider. So the thing is, I think we have had two problems with our game server provider during, I don't know, 6-7 years. And I think that's not really, a common big thing, right? I know there's been other things and other hosts, providers that also have affected our game server, but it's not the same provider. That obviously give us the picture that, obviously we have some issues with our hosts. It must be a bad host, low budget, but I can tell you that's not really the case. For the actual game server, we use high tier, some of the best in the world, and it costs a lot for us to run it. And that's one of the reasons we need subscription eventually to cover those costs. So there's no real, benefit for us to actually change that game provider at this point in time, at least. All right, let me jump down again. I see the same question here before we... Unreal 5 is this year. You're getting closer and closer.
Another one. Another one.
Ice Master with the Prime, thank you very much. Could prominence be turned into a tradable currency? We're a small guild that started a small open town. But it's difficult to pay prominence. People who use our towns want to help by giving us their prominence, but they can't. So there are some pros and cons. The prominence is a currency that is safe when it comes to, you can't really trade it, you can't really abuse it. It's not a currency you can, try to find new dupes on. So it's a safe new currency that's going to be used for a lot of things in the future. But I mean, you can still, I understand if you want just pure prominence, then you need guild members, right, to supply for that, or the various features that also may be added over time. Expanding on TC, there may be things that adds to some income of prominence. So there may be some additional options over time, but we don't really plan to change it. So it's actually a physical currency that you can actually trade as it's looking right now, for very good reasons, right? Most of the other things are tradable currencies. Herr Fritzlus, if you tell the person in mind here to contact our staff members, they will look into his case, right? If there's anything wrong. People can't send their friends to talk for them and then send that back and forth. There is no track record of that. We can't really help. I hope you understand. But our staff members will happily assist with anyone contacting us. Sam Victia, hey, do you have any plans to add some new mechanics to the game that even old players have to discover? I feel like now the old players have huge advantages as they know all the secrets. Absolutely. If you are a long-term Mortal follower, you know that is one of Mortal's strengths. We add very sophisticated advanced systems that takes years to fully discover sometimes. And when it comes to our crafting system, people have just scratched the surface, even though, you know, many think that, and that may be true, that there's a common main part that are a few setups that works for the most, but then there may be refinement that goes into the thousands and, you know, out of these millions of experimentation. But yes, absolutely, we are adding new features every now and then. And obviously that means new knowledge to be discovered and shared if the players choose to do so. So that is absolutely something we're going to keep on adding. We've been on a edge now where we need to reach a certain milestone when it comes to server stability, client stability, moving over to Unreal Engine 5 branch. Quite chaotic, but it is a very important core part to get in place to have a very exciting and bright future for Mortal 2. Because when all that is done, we only need to focus on one thing, obviously, and that is pure development of the game, improving and then adding slowly over time. So, and that's the big step that we're taking now. That is also why we can't do client patches left and right now. Because that will just steal a lot of development time and we will have to throw it away as soon as we move over to Unreal Engine 5, because there is such a big difference between the two engines that we can't just click a button, now it's running on Unreal Engine 5. You know, that's quite a project, and we've been working on that for quite a while now, and we are finally getting closer and closer to make the switch live. You can contract mercs to farm prominence for you. That is actually true, Balox. That is true. All right, I'm jumping down again, guys. So if I'm missing anything, I apologize. But I wanna just stay a little bit more up to date here. I'm falling way behind. Sorry about that. So I'm scrolling straight down. All right, I'm up to date. Herr Furchlus, are you saying this for the 5th time, even though I have responded to you 2 times? That we perma-banned 50-ish years old deaf man with no explain or warning. So I will say it one more time, just to be very, very clear. We don't ban anyone because we think it's funny or for any strange reason. We ban someone only for very specific reasons. If this person thinks there's something wrong, he needs to contact our staff members or support, and they will respond what have happened and why. They don't respond to the community or to you, they respond to the account that matters in this case. I hope that is clear. Herr Furchlus. So please tell him to contact us, and if he tell you that he have and he don't get any response, then it's not true, because we always respond. And like I said, every time I look into those cases, we have indeed responded multiple times, often with the same response, and player in particular is not obviously happy with it and keep on trying. Not saying that this is the case here, but please listen to me. They have to contact our staff members or support. There are various locations or persons to contact. I will leave reviews to who about the GMs. Some of the GMs are way more helping than others. So that is a big thing, right? And very important for us at Star Wars and the game, and obviously because it affects you. So it's extremely important, and this is something we always work very hard on, to make sure that the GM staff are external, professional, hired GMs. They have no relationship to the players or guilds or whatsoever. They're not allowed to be players either, obviously, for specific, obvious reasons. And it takes a while to bring on new GMs and members, on the staff members, because of the complexity of this game. There may be new cases every week that we need to think twice before, leaving a response or taking action because of the advanced nature of this game, right? And sometimes we need to discuss it with the entire team, the development team, before we can, take a stance or make an update for that question. And yes, that means we need to have sophisticated systems and pipelines for the GMs to easily learn how to act and how to respond and how to do the different actions in the game and how to do it properly and when to act and how to also escalate them to more senior GMs and so on. And this is something we've been developing on very hard as of late, because yes, there have been various action taken or various explanation taken, and sometimes players can see that as too little or enough or not enough. And obviously it's very important for us to make sure that all GM interactions should be professional, and obviously where we try to help as much as possible. That's our goal, right, as a GM. And one of the problems is that we have lacked specific tools in various areas of the game. Specific logs have been missing. That makes that job extremely difficult and obviously not proper in the long run, right? Because they can't really help. It's obvious that a player would then get upset at the GMs. The GMs feels, exhausted to hear that, and they do want to help, but they can't. And then it goes to the devs. We're missing this system tool or logs, and so it goes around, right? So we've created a huge document for all of this, all the issues, all the pros, cons, and everything, and all the feedback from players. And we have been building a new backend system for quite a while now that is soon going to be up and running. And that's going to be also more obviously additionally expanded on over time to fulfill all of these holes, or where the weakness is, where players feel, this is a bad experience. Then we add it to that list, and how can we improve and fix that experience? It's a big part of a MMORPG game, online game, especially this type of game where the complexity is insane, right? So that is, slowly going into the live environment now as well. That's to make sure that the GMs have all the tools they need so they can finally help in all situations, no matter what level they are on. And hopefully that this will be a highly improved experience for the players in the end result. No, we do not plan to have any server wipe or reset. There is no reason for it, actually. And if you play the game for a while, you will slowly over time understand why that would just damage the game further, or the player experience rather. Okay, let me jump down a little bit more. I wanted to show you a little bit what we are working on as well. I know not everyone has a 40 series card, but DLSS 3-point frame gen might help for FPS and 1000. Yeah, we are actually waiting on NVIDIA to update DLSS, the plugin for Unreal Engine 5.3. We are currently on 5.2, and there's a few things we really want that is improved in 5.3. But we can't fully switch over to 5.3 until we have NVIDIA's plugin updated, which hopefully will happen any day now. We are following their progression on that. Because yeah, we actually can confirm now that this is the first time ever the GPU gonna be able to utilize a lot more load stepping onto Unreal Engine 5 because of the new Lightning system and such that puts more calculation on the GPU rather than the CPU. We have been CPU bound for quite a while, but now moving on to Unreal 5, we are also looking to be GPU bound depending on hardware and what is enabled and not. So that means we can actually benefit greatly from DLSS, much more so than in Unreal Engine 4. So that became already much more important already compared to Unreal Engine 4. Are going to manage to implement nanites up to 5.3. Yeah, like I said, we are trying to move over to 5.3 as soon as we can. FSR should be in the same situation, right? They should have a plugin now as well, if I'm not mistaken. And we're gonna try to support that as well as soon as we can. Hopefully it will be as smooth as the NVIDIA plugins are currently. Cold chills. Yeah, like I said, we're collecting everything we can now when it comes to TC, sieging, issues, bugs, and confirming them, and we will have those covered as soon as we can also. We require a client patch to do that. That's why we wanna switch over to Unreal 5 now as soon as possible. So we may be switching over soon, run that for a while. Obviously we're gonna utilize PTR. And then the closer we come to our dates, we're gonna make a patch transition most likely, and then we will plan the next step, which is the Epic Game release. So we don't have everything switched, updated, patched for the first time ever on Epic Game release. That would be very chaotic. The two GMs that I try about, the others are fantastic. So obviously, you know, anyone at the team can do mistakes at times, and we have learned from those mistakes, and we make sure we don't make the same mistakes again. But I also, again, want to say that it is extremely difficult to be a GM in Immortal Online for multiple reasons, and I don't think it's completely fair to say that we have some of the GMs are terrible while the others are fantastic. I know that everyone is doing their absolutely best, but it's also on us developers to make sure they have the tools and the information they need to help the players, right? So it also goes on us, right? And that's what I mentioned before. With the new backend system, it's going to be much easier and better for the GMs to work with the players, and also for staff members and seniors to see everything, how the GM works and how everything goes, to make sure they're doing the correct job, right? And you will also have the opportunity to, you know, review, give your satisfaction or not satisfied feedback based on that interaction. And that is obviously for us to help to make sure, okay, here is a weakness in our system. We need to work here to improve that. Everything to make sure that the players feel that, you know, we do absolutely what we can to assist when things goes wrong. I'm going to keep using the current anti-cheat system, or we use one that actually works later. We use multiple snubber, and for obvious reasons we don't state details around this, right? Because that helps cheaters. But I can tell you that we have multiple layers, and it's been expanded on every month, and it also detects and ban players weekly. And that work not gonna stop, obviously, right? It is required, sadly, but that's just how it is. Wait, you can't be a player if you want to be a GM? That is correct, crit shots, because of the biased nature, right? We can't risk that anyone feel that there may be corruption, this is foul play, he plays in that guild and all of a sudden strange things happens from above through GMs. Very understandable, right? So, no, You have to be external hired. You can't have any relation with the game at all. And that's exactly our current GM members. They don't have any game relationship or knows who you are or what guild you are playing with. They just simply do all of their petitions daily and try to do their job. Support staff is simultaneously the best in the world and the worst in the world. Like I said, it's in the end, it's Star Wars' responsibility, right, to make sure there's a proper guideline, proper tools and logs and all of that. And there's been some holes in this, and we'd identify that throughout the months, and we are now slowly deploying the new backend system. What are you going to do about GMs taking bribes? They don't take bribes. If anyone break the rules, that is logged. So our GM's action is logged, right? So if someone claims this GM have done something illegal, and we can see, yes, indeed, he did this, obviously we won't be working with us anymore. So I highly doubt that that is something that would happen, because it's not that hard to see what a GM does in our game. So yeah. Mad cursor bad. It's some all of those. Like I said, we're collecting all the feedback and we will update. We will follow up on that. All right, let me jump down again here, and then I think we should proceed to my second point here today. So let me, again, sorry if I'm missing anything important, but I'm too slow today. Too slow. Henrik, chickaboom, mate. Do Kern. All right, let's see. When is C in TC coming out? What do I mean with C? So as you know, we are working in Unreal Engine 5 on a daily basis now. Everyone is on board finally. No one left in Unreal Engine 4, and that is also why you're not seeing any client patches right now. And we are not far away from taking this step over finally. Caramel Drizzle, I think that's a little bit nonsense trolley post, isn't it? Why would Unreal 5 fix everything? You know, we talked about that in the past, what Unreal 5 does for the game and how it's future-proof the game and how we push it further ahead on the horizon, you know. In the lead, we have reached all the limitations when it comes to Unreal Engine 4. We cracked the juice out of it, and there are some systems that simply aren't fully supportive of a large-scale world such as Mortal 9. So there are several benefits, obviously, on Unreal 5, but Unreal 5 doesn't fix bugs or expand on features, obviously, right? That's still something developers have to do. So when it comes to systems, features, bugs, that is, you know, development time. Unreal Engine 5 does a huge leap in several areas, improves several areas. Obviously, utilize next generation technology and utilize the next generation hardware in a much better way. So, you know, we get a lot of future-proof updates, systems, improvements overall with Unreal Engine 5. What feature does 5.3 add that you're waiting for? One very big thing is the terrain that we are converting to nanites is very buggy and doesn't work. We need to go through pure pain to convert our terrain in Unreal 5.2. In Unreal 5.3, it seems they fixed this bug, which allows us to convert the terrain smoothly. So we can utilize nanites very efficiently in our world. And that is a big thing, very big thing. So that, I would say, is the biggest one. And overall, they have fixed a lot of things, polished a lot of features that are buggy in 5.2. So the engine just gets more and more stable. So, and we know this, so we always try to be prepared to upgrade efficiently and quickly whenever they do release. So yeah. Biothane, what's this? Something new. I've never seen this before. Hype chat with $5. What's this? There's a field in dungeon in the jungle on the southeast side of the map. When will that open? I'm not sure. So we have several dungeons that's going to be added to Mjolnir over time. We want to make sure they're polished, have proper namash, and that's also actually something that is new. There's a new namash system in Unreal 5. So that's also a transition we're making. Pay to win questions, eh? When will be the real TC? What kind of nonsense is that? TC is real. What I said that's gonna happen, follow up, is polish and balancing. Because now we're getting the feedback. We didn't get it throughout the PTR. We're getting it now. And we can't just clap our hands and bam, we have it in a magic patch out of nothing, from no one, right? It needs to go into our pipeline. Do you hear my system sounds? Sorry, guys. Should be better now. You're hiring for software engineer. So we are looking for multiple positions. It's on our website. Every now and then we'll look over those to see if that is something suitable. 30% speed buff on mounts. That will go heavily on a prediction system, which means it could go completely full bar and give you very bad combat behavior if we just blindly slap on 30% move speed. So no, that could be disastrous. That's something we need to be very careful about doing when it comes to speed and movement. So I managed to get a little... so right now we have several artists working on several areas in Unreal 5. A huge thing is preparing assets for nanites and lumens. That is the big thing for our game. And there's a big impact in that as well. And we want to make sure that performance is good when we take these updates. And one of the things is obviously to rework in the entire lighting system and shadow system in the entire game world. And it's a huge world, as you know. So that's quite time consuming. And there are several steps, right? First is, okay, go through everything that is broken, because that happens when you switch engine, then everything breaks. Then you have to convert things, work on things, optimize things. So there's in those steps. And the final step is, can you guess what that step is after all this? Broken assets, broken lighting, performance issues and all that. And when we finally have that finished, and that's the problematic thing for me when it comes to showcasing everything juicy. because the last step is, if you didn't guess it already, is the beautify pass. I mean, beautify pass. Juicy beautify. And what I mean with that is obviously making sure lighting and shadows and everything in the world looks amazing, right? Because most of the players in the world think Mortal Online 2 is one of the best looking MMO in all time, currently at least. And that is true, and it is in Unreal Engine 4, and a few even think it is Unreal 5 because it looks so freaking beautiful. But just switching the lighting system to Unreal 5 lumens and such, everything doesn't just look amazing automatically. So that's the big process we've been going through. So that's why I haven't had too much juice to show, because it haven't had a beautify pass. We are finally slowly getting to where we aim to have the final results when it comes to the lighting in the world. And I managed to get one of that light artists to run in those areas that I've been working on, doing his first pass to make sure it looks normal and utilize lumens. And I told him to see if he could record a little bit while he was doing that, and he did. And I wanted to show you that. If you give me a little moment here. So let me find that little shot. All right, so here's a little clip. I'm sure you recognize the areas for Mortal Online 2, but it's finally running lumens, and the performance is impressive, and that's very important, obviously, right? We can't just have it looking better, but killing the performance entirely. So that's the requirement, right? Performance and then beautify. So here I want to show you this clip that I have got here. As you can see, do you recognize this path? I'm sure you do. So here you can see the power of lumens, how light enters windows and openings, and the light bounces and emits color and light around it very naturally and very realistic. And that's something that was impossible in Unreal Engine 4, and that's the next generation lighting system. And yeah, so as you can see here, you see a touch of the colors being bouncing. It mimics real life, how lighting and colors behaves in real life. It's a very complicated process, but you don't think about it in real life, right? It just happens in front of your eyes. But Lumens is getting very close to that simulation to make it look very beautiful and realistic. What path is that? Don't you recognize the path? Gonna need a 4090 play. That is not true. We are actually working on lower end system when it comes to optimizing the game because of that very reason, right? I like what I'm seeing, Henrik. I'm glad you are liking what you're seeing. Nice cheese. So we have multiple systems, right? I think the oldest card we have is a 1060 card, if I'm not mistaken. An equivalent CPU generation, so quite old, right? And then we have up towards 2060, I think, when we try to optimize the game to work good enough on that kind of hardware. And obviously 2060 card, you know, that's two generations old cards, right? We have such a nice here. 2 crown. I don't know. Thank you. I'm lucky. It's the elevator path. Ah, there you go. There we go. In the tavern, light is coming through the shelf on the left. Which one I mean? In the tavern. Let me see now. Here, do you mean to left? Where? couldn't really see it. I'm not sure exactly what I mean. Tavern looks like a shitty mood hat town. It is a nice little tavern. But you can see how the light and color bounces, right? And that is lumens doing its juice, its magic. It pushes the realism level much more. In Unreal 4, everything is flat, right? You have one shadow and one light, and that's it. There's no gradients, there's no bouncing. Here you can see in the scene it goes from light and then it slowly goes into darkness in the corners, right? Where there's no light bouncing. And that is the magic behind Illumins. And yeah, it just makes the game much, much more realistic. FSR is on our list when it comes to hopefully having a proper plugin working in Unreal Engine 5.3. So it's 100% on AMD, and hopefully they will have that plugin working for us. What is your skincare routine? Water. That's it. Water. And not too often. You don't want to dry the skin. Let it be natural. Let it be natural. We need to sit in the chairs and play blackjack. That is true. That is why you're gonna see that in our upcoming votable roadmap creation, and we're gonna create a juicy upcoming roadmap, multiple roadmaps even, and yes, we wanna be able to sit there in the taverns now, smoke the pipe, drink some beer, VoIP, and play some table games, right? We need it. We need it. We need that relaxing game mechanics as well in this chaotic world we live in, Nave. Yes, sir. You can see the crystals in the crack pipe. Yes, indeed. Ice Master. That may be a little bit too much, right? Smoke the Nahuat. Caramel drizzle. When that comes, will you be able to sit in chairs? That is a plan, right? It makes sense to have the sit in chair function along with table games, socializing, right? That kind of goes a little bit hand in hand. So we are aiming to have that on the same batch. Let's wager on games to keep it exciting. We're gonna start with blackjack, and then we want poker, Texas Hold'em. Fun, easy, we can play it forever and enjoy. We can have tournaments, we can socialize. It can be a thing. Once a week we meet at a specific tavern and just enjoy our time, socializing, VoIPing. We can talk about the game, we can talk about everything, we can RP, and we can of course play some games and make some money while we do so, right? Why not? I'm very much looking forward to that. I would love to play poker with you guys, if anyone is down with that. We don't have to bring the subscription. So the plan is, when we are ready and release the game on Epic Game platform, that is also when subscription starts, and everyone starts with a free month, and then an active subscription is required to continue play. And that is for the obvious reasons, right? We talked about it many times, why we choose the subscription model above free to play, pay to win, and rainbow fluff, right? And it's just better for the game, it's better for you, and same for everyone, equal for everyone. And for the obvious reason, we need to fund the development, the servers, support, all of that, right? Happily please you. Hey, Satan sweet. Try me. We don't have the exact public date yet for PTR on Unreal 5, but we're getting closer and closer. We will make the announcement when it's time. Will it still be on GeForce Now after Epic? Yes. And maybe even on a third platform, but more on that later. The game is gonna be cool, but when are you guys focusing on combat balance? So, like I said, you're gonna help us define the upcoming roadmaps. There will be some quite a few options. combat and balance is part of that. We already have collect a lot of feedback when it comes to tweaking numbers and balance. That's gonna happen. It may be even in some of the patches coming with the epic patches before the actual roadmap focus. Will we get a discount if we sub in bulk? Yes, Moonbear. There will be a few options that give you good discounts if you commit to more time. So if you obviously know that this is your game, you're gonna have a better deal by a bulk subscription. Will we get new PC requirement details prior to Unreal 5 drops, as I'm confident my PC will have issues with this? Amber Menders, what kind of graphic card do you have? That is a good measurement. We will try to update them. Yes, we need a little bit more. We are heavily working on optimization right now, so we don't really know exactly where we are standing until we are done with a few more passes. We're gonna explain the new Crim system soon. The updates to it. So the thing is, we can't client patch. You know, if it's something that completely breaks the entire game, no one can play it. Then obviously we need to do whatever we need to do, right? But we can't client patch without stepping over to Unreal Engine 5. So we want to do that fast, and we will step over quite soon. We're most likely stepping over before we do the launch on Epic Games, right? Yeah, we collected all the feedback when it comes to TC banks, etc. The annoyance of the differences, how you can't right click, etc. And we have updated that already. It comes along with our next client patch. So there's a lot of improvement and fixes already in our coming patch. Take my money for a lifetime sub, eh? We will see what we can offer when we get a little bit closer. We won't be able to have the Diva system finished for the Epic Game launch. That's what we know for sure. There are multiple question marks that needs to be sorted and decided first of all before we may commit. So you know, is the RX 6800 XT good enough? I have to admit, I'm quite lousy and bad at the AMD cards currently. We've been using NVIDIA as a reference, and we also partnered with NVIDIA a little bit, so we mostly just had NVIDIA cards. Just had a few AMD cards for, obviously, testing purposes. But you have to remind me, what's the equivalent card NVIDIA generation when it comes to 6800? There's an equivalent card on NVIDIA, right? I'm sure someone knows in here that can tell me. So everything will be moved over to Unreal 5, and when is the timeline? Yes, it is under development already and been for a while, and we will announce soon when we open up PTR for the public to help us test the crap out of Borderline 2 in Unreal 5. Why will people pay for a sub when the game is missing content? The balance requires multiple accounts and there are long-standing game-breaking bugs. So we want you to point out those game-breaking bugs because we are running out of a lot of them already. And when we ask guilds and leaders to help us point out what is the now top 5 issues, that list is disappearing, which is awesome, right? So that's always been number one focus, to make sure stability and bugs are removed first of all. Missing content. If that is a statement that you think that you wouldn't want to play the game today because of missing content, I don't know when you will start playing the game, because this game will always miss content because it will never be finished. We will keep on adding features every single year, and there will be huge new systems, a lot of new gameplay mechanics and functions over time, including new continents, The question is when you want to play and you want to pay for it, right? There's already plenty of juice and a lot of content worth thousands of hours. And I would say 1,000 of hours, you know, having to pay $40 for a few thousand hours of pure enjoyment and some pain. I think that is a fair deal. I would personally think that is a hell of a good deal. But again, that's a personal opinion that you all have to decide, right? And paying a donut and a beer once a month to keep having those thousands of hours, I think that is a fair deal. Obviously, it needs to be fun and worth it for you, right? And that is our job, to give you all that. And so far, we're giving everything you asked for. And now, obviously, we're gonna design our upcoming roadmaps with your help as well to make it even better. Yeah, we have collected some issues for some cases when it comes to territory radius and taxes. So obviously, those are the things we're going to follow up on, right? We're collecting everything we can when it comes to bad balance or possible bugs that is TC related. So that is something we are preparing for. And we have already fixed quite a few of those. That is ready for the next patch. Looking at Unreal Engine 5, I can see my client crashing. I'm not sure. So like I said, we are testing this and optimizing it on older game systems. It all depends on your GPU, CPU, and hard drive mostly, right? Is the server going to wipe? No. You see Dagger Nerf next patch. It may be next client patch or the next one. I can't say exactly which one. We want to make sure we do the right adjustment because it's not following the game design. We need to make sure it does, right? And we need to figure out why doesn't it? Is it due to a bug or something else? And that is under development. 60,800 is equal to 3070. Holy shit, yeah, then absolutely it will run good on your end. Like I said, we have been testing a lot of this on 2060 cards to make sure it runs good there. So obviously there's really good data on Steam systems to see what does the majority of the gamers uses as what is the average graphic card today. Obviously our game is next gen. We're using Unreal 5 soon. It's the most beautiful MMO game in the world. So obviously it requires a little bit from your computer, right? You can't just run it on a lousy laptop or a non-gamer cards and expect it to run smoothly, right? That just doesn't happen. You do need some decent graphic card and CPU to run it smoothly, right? That's natural. But a 3070 equal to AMD will absolutely run. Yeah. 3070, 3080, 6800 XT. You're good if you have that type of hardware. You're good. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Say, yeah, as I mentioned, we already looked into that and have some of it fixed in our next patch. Yeah, we're looking at taxes, we're looking at the rewards, looking at the numbers, the defense values, because now we're getting the feedback, right? So we're working on it. We pay to beta test. No, you can test on PTR if you want to or not. You don't have to. We are paying a QA team, external professional testers, that we are paying to do that every day, Monday to Saturday. You know, they work very hard on confirming, testing, and polishing our game. Obviously, that's nothing that we expect any player to do. If you want to participate on PTR to get a heads up, test things, give feedback, you have the opportunity for free on PTR when that is opening up for the public. So what is the top 3 bugs today in our game, you think, guys? I'm interested to see. Top 3 bugs. Do you have them? Daggers, they're not bugged. That's balance. Please, bugs is very different from balance. So let's separate them, right? It's 2 different things. Guildstone swapping. Yeah, we got that one as a report. We try to reproduce it. Some of it doesn't really work on our end, but we're already investigating that one. Traveling slow. That's not a bug. TC car pathing, TC supplies, TC claim stones. All right, all right. We already know about the daggers. You don't have to mention them anymore. And I commented on them every single time. They're not bugged. It's all about balance, right? And we're fully aware of that. We're fully aware of it. It will come in our next client patch. Daggers. Come on, guys. TC loot timer. Those should be fixed now in this build. And last confirmation confirmed that they are finally good. So I'm not sure if you meant pre-patch. But yeah, claimstone swapping is one of them that we are investigating, trying to reproduce right now in QA. So I saw that one. To Lepor. No, that's not true. We've been working on that, so that's not true anymore. It's been patched and updated. So you don't have to be here. You can leave already now, right? Then you don't have to ask when we enjoy this game, right? You said daggers were bugged yourself. No. I said they're not following game design, and we need to identify the reason for that. If it is a bug, or if it is changes in the different materials that are different from the first game, I don't know yet. I haven't had the time to investigate myself, but I know that the team are investigating. So, but it's a balance issue, right? That's the main thing. High weak spot damage on high damage daggers. That's what people are using. That's what people are complaining on. We are aware of that, and that is a balance issue, right? And we need to do the correct adjustment to fix it. That's what I mean, Schmerik. I hope that's clear, Schmerik. Yeah. We had a potential fix for the open and relog open chest. We know that's an annoying one, right? And it may be fixed now if I didn't misunderstood the conversation we had last week regarding that bug. It may be fixed also in the next patch already. We're going to look into FSR. If they have that plugin supporting 5.3, we will try to make it happen as soon as we can. Daggers, lances. daggers. Yeah, so we have a good list and looks like we are on track. That's just what I wanted to tune in on a little bit here. Guild is full. We may need to increase the cap. The cap, I don't remember what the cap was on, but I think we need to increase it a little bit. No reason for have it that low. Not a bug, but needs improvement is the broker UI. Yeah, we got a lot of good feedback and suggestions on missing quality of life stuff on the broker, right? We fully agree with that. I'm not entirely sure what kind of differences and if there will be differences in the new Nave in Unreal 5 compared to Unreal 4. It is heavily updated and we are transitioning over to that right now as we speak. I think it's have been done and it's put on test right now just to make sure everything works as normal. So I'm not sure if that's going to be a direct differences that players notice. Lens is broken. Please change charge damage to be bonus, not scale. So they're not broken, right? We need to be careful. So broken means in the development world that something is not working. It's very bugged, and we need to have coders to do code work on them. But what you're referring to is balance or system changes, which puts completely different developers on that task. And it involves balancing. I hope the difference is clear, right? So that's very helpful, right? Depending on how we communicate these things, so we know this should go to balance developers or coder developers and so on. Yeah, we tweaked the outlaws, their ranged, speed, and magic to be a little bit more manageable. Lootbags not falling to the ground when a player is higher up. So that is not a bug. That's just simply how the game works. The server spawns the loot where it dies and places it straight down on collision, which is on a steep angle, mountain, or whatever, wherever you died, right? It doesn't glide down or use physics to, you know, fall down from the mountain. It just doesn't work like that. That will require something completely different, and that's something we can't really build and have a reliant system on because it's an MMO game. So when you die up high in steep slopes you're falling down from, the loot bag will spawn where it died and remain up there. It won't fall down as a ragdoll or physics. All right. So what do you think about these little shots that my light artist managed to record today? Are we happy with the direction? It's still work in progress, but I think they are getting into a very realistic, nice overall baseline look. Or what do you think, guys? I'm quite happy with it. Looks very nice. Clip looks awesome. Yeah, looks very sexy. Looks sexy. Looks great. A lot of lighting in the dark tavern. Yeah, of course, obviously there will be some light sources, right? Some candles and cozy stuff when it comes to these socializing areas. But you see the core of it, right? This is the baseline and how the sunlight bounces into the windows and door openings, which is just pure magical. It's a really nice look. Imagine this in VR, stand there in first person. Holy shit. You're stepping into the world of Mortal Online and you're gonna be scared to shit because holy shit, this dangerous world, you can be there in first person. That's a hell of an experience, Obviously you have to wait a little bit more until you can dive into that as well. But we've been doing some experiment in various fields and there's some exciting things. I'm going to change the expect from balance perspective in the UE5 update. I don't know for sure. There are a few important things and there are a few important fixes that also ties to TC. You will see obviously the patch note eventually. I don't have them all in my mind. I mean the team is obviously working very hard daily, right? A lot of polish and fixes are being done while we do the transition as well. SteamVR set is ready for that day. Indeed, Robin. Imagine MA2 VR where you get to neck dungeon and a Tianming logs in after Invis bridge and kills you. Imagine that. Imagine that. Obviously, that is one of the things we're also working on, right? Logging in, logging out functions. That ties a little bit with the zone rule system that we're also building along for Epic Game patches. Guilds are heavily trying to dominate the dungeons, right? We need more dungeons and we need to have some of these rule zones functions. And we got a lot of great feedback also when it comes to general design and that what could improve dungeons, like multiple entrances, exits, secret entrances and exits to also help improve playability around them, right? From small scales to large scales. More dungeons and multi-access indeed. Yeah, exactly. We got a lot of good feedback on that. So for sure, we are putting that in the design notes. Every single update to dungeons and new dungeons, we'll have more of that implemented. I don't find a jungle secret yet. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, the maker. And they did share it on Discord, I believe. One of them. One of those little secret thing, you know. Took quite a while actually for people to find it though. I thought people would find it on day 2 or 3. Was a hell of a cool statue. And I think some people shared it already on Discord. Obviously there's going to be a lot more of all of that. We need hard dungeon in South. We want to add a lot more dungeons everywhere, right? Whatever direction you go, there should be a nice dungeon experience. Over time, there will be more. So yeah, the lance damage is based on velocity and momentum and all of that, and that can cause insane peaks, right? And it may be that we need to cap those. That doesn't mean it's a bug, it does it calculations, but it can go to insane values. And if that doesn't happen commonly, it haven't been spotted during PTR, but now spotted during live, obviously it's added to the list to see, okay, how can we secure this to not go too extreme? As in capping the damage or something like that, you know. Bazooka boom! The game is freaking great, Henrik. Tell everyone to shut up. Oh, not too much. Not too much. Bazooka boom. I mean, we have a lot more content that we will add on Milan, that's for sure. No pics of pets yet in Unreal 5. You will see more over time. We are, like I said, we're working on different biomes and areas to make sure the baseline is there, so everything works. There's no bugged situation where lights and shadows go crazy. And then the final step is also additional beautify pass, just to fine tune it as much as possible. This is the current version, up to date, and I'm already very happy with the overall lighting. It looks really realistic, and very importantly so also, the performance is actually solid. Yeah, we have a few fishing rods waiting to be finalized in the fishing rod crafting window. Depending on community interaction, it will be placed on upcoming roadmaps based on your input, I would say. Looks so good. Good job, dude. Thank you very much. The artist gets very happy when they hear your feedback, obviously, and that you also are happy with the visuals and all the work they're doing. No, we haven't been talking specifically about beast mastery skills, utilities. Yes, there are several of them that we need to follow up on and also tweak and balance to get closer to that goal, to make sure that the Beastmaster pet user need to be very active to be effective rather than passive and sending them, right? That's the main goal. And we have more work to do there to minimize the passive damage effect and optimize the utility skills to be, so yeah, you know what I mean, right? It just helps the balance when it comes to pet users. And it should also be more engaging and interesting and challenging for pet users. Thievery is one of the options for the community on upcoming roadmaps. Turshai? Who is Turshai? Is Theory going to play like how it did in Modern 1, sneaking around town and picking pockets in banks, calling guards on thieves still? So there will be a few changes, but in general you still use the same skills to snoop into someone's pocket to access, and you have another skill to steal items, right? So that's still the same rules. What changes is your success rate and utility to do that successfully. You can't just be naked and do that anymore, which you could in the first game, which was a little bit silly, right? Because master thieves stood there naked and they stole stuff, put the stolen goods in your pockets, ran away, either got away or got guard whacked, and not a little bit unnatural, right? To hide your stolen goods in thin air. So obviously you need tools and gear. So there's more risk investment as a thief and should be more considered to make a theft before just going for it. You know, steal, get caught, die, rest, repeat. That's gonna be more eliminated this time around. So it should be more sophisticated, more interesting, more balanced, and yeah, just improved, right? That's I guess we can think where it goes, right, Kurandas? Not too many options, but you know what I mean, right? Not very practical. Not very practical. Depending on what you're stealing, right? We decided not to start with any walls for villages and towns because of the obvious problems it gave us in the first game. That doesn't mean in the future that we may want to revisit specific, thin, easy to destroy walls with limitations on, so you don't lock the world content behind heavy walls you have to siege down. There may be room for palisades that you can knock down with axes and hammers, you know, stuff like that, maybe. But we're not starting with it because it gave us a lot of headache and problems in the first game. So we decided not to go for them without heavy thought and investment and proper changes if we are to add something like that later. Nightly game streams. Yeah, so those are the things we need to consider, right? To make sure that it may not go too crazy. About offense. Like I said, it could be something small we want to allow that you can still knock down without too much investment. But like I said, we have to look into that a little bit later. Yeah, we're fully aware of the dagger balance situation like us, and it's already on our list. Kravis, that's not a bad idea. Maybe it's time to start that. One moment. All right, we can start to sign up for now. So you can type Expedition Mark 2 and you will be in the list for a roll chance. Is UE5 still on track for October? Yes, it is still on track as at this point for end of October. And we will soon announce the next PTR sessions when it comes to testing Unreal 5 for the public. We need a little bit more time first, but we will announce all of that, obviously. We can move on to the giveaway. Your drinking game, take a shot every time Henrik makes a comment or dagger meta. Indeed. I mean, we're fully aware, right? And we understand players are passionate and they, want to make sure that we know when it comes to problematic balance or whatever that may be. We have the information, and I also stated that where we are starting on and what we're looking into when it comes to that, because like I mentioned, it doesn't follow the desired design currently, so something is indeed off, and players are confirming that, right? All right, let's have a few minutes of sign up as usual. So the supply towers, remember we talked about supply towers during the PTR as well, that they're open for additional functions and obviously some tweaks in upcoming patches. And we planted that seed. We also understand that just talking about it and testing a little bit on PTR doesn't really give it a real gaming situation, right, until you get to play around with it for real. So we did expect obviously more proper feedback and stuff like that to come after TC's live, which is happening now, right? We may tweak the hit points a little bit if needed. We may tweak the defense values, and we will tweak the timers, how they give and adds defense values. Those will be tweaked a little bit because this is finally the first time we're actually getting proper feedback on it in real scenarios. So there will be some tweaks, and we will, show what kind of tweaks we're looking at, and most likely have that session on PTR also to confirm it. And we have the possibility to add additional effects and bonuses on them. So that is doable. We just need to, decide what could be suitable and when we want to do that kind of focus. Henrik, I like the game a lot. I have already 85 hours in and just wanted to say keep up the good work. Cerberus, thank you very much. I'm glad you have found Mortal Online and enjoying yourself already. That is awesome. There will also be a few changes on the tower shields. So yeah, you will be able to see and test that also on PTR. Yeah, Phantom. So it's not until as of quite late the dagger have been more prominent, used, and main knowledge. The daggers have been the same since day one, and we didn't see daggers at all the first, year or so in this scale. That is also how it is in this type of game. All of a sudden someone finds a new meta or a new setup that seems very powerful, and more people start using it, and then eventually majority using it. It takes time sometimes for some things to really show that, this one is underpowered, overpowered, or whatever that may be. And early on, a lot of people wasn't really on the same, they didn't agree on things. We got very opposing feedbacks from various large guilds. So it takes a while for things to mature and for, all of that to have a clear sign on things. Gonna bring back 2 unflanked mazes from Mortal 1, back to how they were originally not useless, how they are now. You mean balance then, right? Yeah, we're gonna balance and buff non-used groups until they have a use for some people. And the special ability moves gonna obviously bump all those groups even more. So they will all be very unique and powerful no matter what weapon group you choose, thanks to this combat system. I mean, in general, when we talked about the siege mechanics, supply is a kind of defense value, right? If you cut enemy supply lines, that's where it comes from. You're starving your enemies, you're making them weaker, now you can successfully siege them. So it makes sense if you consider that lolcats, girls from space. That's where the name came from. No defense bonuses and supply lines need a timer before they can rebuild. Yeah, such balance is exactly what we're looking at, right? So 1 month of sub, but I can only pay 14 days for upkeep. No, you will be able to pay 1 or 2 months, even 2 months, I believe, in upkeep. Impossible to solely guess to upgrade TC past state due to 2 supply towers requirement. No, come on, there are 80 supply towers. I'm quite sure you can take 2 Riddler. I would be able to do it solo. So I'm sure you can with your friend, right? Or even solo, like I said. 2 towers is absolutely doable. You can just take any tower in the world, wherever you want, and you just have to take it for 1 second, right? You don't need to hold it, Riddler. Beta Wolf, Henrik, I want you to know that it's been years since I found a game that has gotten my attention like this game. I work from home, which allows me to basically play the game all day and pretty much do. Honestly, while there are some broken things in the game, I'm happy with what we have, and thank you for making more time too. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Like I said, we are doing everything we can to deliver and offer you a unique, true sandbox MMORPG like no other. And, you know, we're making it together. Yes, Mr. Wicked Cat. Yes. Herr Fudgelös, I think you're done in our community. You can't behave. I've responded to you 5 times in personal here in front of everyone else, and now you're insulting me and my father. I think you need to be removed from this community entirely. We don't need people like you here, okay? Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, a few more minutes, and then we will do the giveaway. We don't have the exact date for Unreal 5, so it will most likely, what we're looking at now is, it will happen in 2 steps, right? We are deploying patches and everything. Make sure it works. Obviously first on PTR, right? And then live after that is approved. And then when we are ready, we take the Epic Game launch step as well. Our spawns were much more dense in Model 1. We will be seeing spawn density improve soon. Betel, it's interesting because I have so many different feedback when it comes to this. Initially, majority, absolutely everyone new to the game said, well, I like the game, but I can walk for hours without seeing anything in the world, and that's boring and sad. And you know, we agree, right? It should be more engaging than that. So every patch we added more and more dynamic spawners, mobs, animals, monsters, lootables, points of interest, and outlaws, the new dynamic system. And now a few people saying, oh my god, it's way too much. You have to cool it down. I get chased everywhere. They kill my horses everywhere. And sometimes a whole gang jump me. You know, so now obviously we need to find that middle ground and quite evenly spread out in Myrland. So it's been a work in progress a little bit to get that good level of balance, right? Because obviously it's true, we all want some action going on. We don't want an hour of completely empty area. There are still some more empty areas, and there may be some areas now that are a little bit too crowded even, right? We also are adjusting and looking at aggro ranges of some of the wildlife that are harassing players a little bit too much. So we're tweaking that as well. So I think it's a more complex question and answer on that one, right? We simply need to follow up and fine tune it until we see there are no main complaints in either of the areas, right? Either too empty and boring or too crowded and difficult. I hope that makes sense. By Beatle. And you should do some dual or team fights when you stream, or try and solo PvP. I should, yes, and I've said that I will try to go back into the game a little bit more again. It's just that my workload these days have been unnatural, insane, which makes things a little bit stressful and difficult to handle. So that's the only downside I would say currently. The stress is a little bit much. I mean, I'm used to it, but sometime when it's persistent for a very long time, you kind of need to make sure you have control over your health as well, right? But I do enjoy having group fights, organized group fights, dueling, that we did a lot in the combat beta. I'm missing that a lot. Obviously now a lot of guilds are doing heavy secret operations, TC work, and sieging in secrets. Obviously I can't just jump in on that, right? So yeah, it's been a little bit since I was in, and also playing with my real life friends. I'm missing it. I mean, this is my type of dream game, right? So I do want to do it more, and I know that eventually I'm gonna have more time to relax and enjoy that part as well. So in due time, and like I said, I try to make the streams with something interesting, some valid, interesting updates as well. And now we're finally getting to a point where Unreal 5 can display a lot of the game, because it have a more finalized, not final yet, but a baseline, I would say, visually. So we can actually start showing more and more. So I'm gonna try to plan ahead now, a few streams ahead. Since I now have 2 weeks in between, I can have a little bit more time to try to spice them up or add something. And some of them maybe let's meet in game and do anything, right? I do enjoy that when we did it in past. Maybe there's room to increase the FOV a little bit. We are restricting a lot of the settings to make sure they are played how it's meant to be played, and same goes for everyone. You know, people can set their own resolution and, you know, get some crazy kind of FOV experience. So we're gonna look into what is practical to have as a standardized options for the player. Want to see me play mage on stream, eh? Then I need to join in a squad that will have me in their team. Arabi, I'm a new player and I have to ask, is speeding in combat something you think on keeping? So currently, that is how veteran players have learned how to disguise attacks and be very skilled at it, and also have deep skill practice and you know, dominating other players. What we lack is additional options that give you options to attack and engage in a successful way. So I mean, as soon as you are very good at parrying and just face-to-face fight, a duel never ends. The game is not fully focused either on a duel should be the end game, right? The focus is group combat, and wars are more natural, and that's where it also shines. I mean, you don't spin around in a war, because then you're a lunatic and you will die and you don't see what's going on. In duels, players have learned that is the most effective way to disguise your attacks and win a duel, right? So that's naturally how it's evolved towards. And quite a lot of people enjoy it and see the skills and have mastered it and are extremely talented at it, and is some of the best in the world at dueling. Obviously that goes out the window when you're in a war, because it's a different type of experience and skill sets, and that's just how it is. With the upcoming combat adrenaline system, it's going to affect this heavily, because you're now going to have additional options to engage even in duels without only disguising attacks. Along with that, we intend to also straighten up the spin cap a little bit. Currently we allow more than 360 degrees, and that's more than most of those games like Chivalry, you know, those similar game, Mordhau and those. So we're going to use similar restriction as those game have, which is a little bit more restricted, when we implement these additional options that will give you more options how to fight properly. So I hope that makes sense. Chicka boom, holy shit, I'm way behind, guys, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. Chicka boomed. Yeah, I mean, we're all mostly adults in here. We can handle criticism, feedback. We can discuss anything, right? I'm sure most of you guys know me by now that I have no problems answering anything, and I'm always transparent and give my best explanation and response on everything, right? But I'm happy to do it once and not annoy the rest in here to keep repeating myself. And obviously when it goes down to childish insults, we can't have that in here, right? Then you have to go play with Barbie or something. What the hell is that? Play the game while you stream, so you can see the random bugs in the game that needs to be fixed. I played the game. I played it quite a lot a few months ago with my friends, and we did everything we could do and enjoyed it a lot. And I always try to take sign on, obviously, bad experience, but just like many other veterans, I don't run into many major bugs. There may be balance issues and tweaks I want to do, but that list have much more of that rather than direct bugs. And obviously I play the game for thousands of hours as well, so, but I don't play it as much and with the same eyes as you, right? Because, you know, I build on games more than play the game currently. So that is why we are asking the community also, and also always make sure that the players report using the game tools to submit any bugs you may find. Number one, PvR in Borderlands 2. Now I'm not sure where I would be on that list as of to date. I'm falling behind, guys. That's for sure. I haven't refreshed my dueling skills. That's for sure. Holy shit, Halloween again. Time flies so fast that it's always something new to plan, right? Always something new. So the most important thing here for us to happen is make sure Unreal 5 goes into place, one branch out with Unreal 4, and make sure we are in a good position stability-wise, both on the server and client, running on Unreal 5. Along with that, we have a few important systems that needs to go in to have a successful Epic Game release as well. And after that, we have an endless list of features that you will help us create the upcoming roadmaps. Strain loading all lighting source in supplier made house inputs on computers. So the thing is, you don't load everything a house have until you're close to it. And we optimize this system heavily to make sure that heavy populated cities that players build are not killing your performance. And it's actually really solid. So if you go from 120 to 10 by going close to a stronghold, then something is very wrong. That shouldn't be happening. And I go close to strongholds daily, and I never get any impact on my FPS. So King Orn something specific happens here in your case, if that's what's happening. From 120 to 10, that something is really wrong, and I can't even guess what that may be at this point. There's not enough outlaws. Don't tune them down. People are just complaining. Milan is not the kindergarten. There are still some areas that may be a little bit empty, but we have done our best, especially along with TC, to quite heavily populate the world with additional. So there should almost not be any large empty area anymore, which, you know, have been a long complaint for since day one, right? And yeah, I think your feedback is in majority aligned with, it's aligned with the majority feedback, that the majority are happy with outlaws and they want more of that type. Some of the feedback may be that, you know, balancing some of their numbers, how they behave, and that's fine, right? That's balance. But yeah, we don't have plans to remove spawners, especially since the number one complaint from any single new player in the world says that the game has been a little bit too empty. So obviously we don't plan to remove, but we will tweak aggro range, speed, ranged attack damage, some of the hunting wildlife that are a little bit extreme, and veterans doesn't really suffer from them because they know how to avoid a pack of wolves when riding, right? But a noob walking out will learn it the hard way, very challenging. So there are a little bit room for, especially near cities, to have more not as stubborn wildlife that chase you that far or detect you as easily. So some of them will be more blinded and deaf. You can sneak up behind them and they still don't aggro. Some fine-tuning that I think will improve the experience, especially nearby starting areas. But yeah, I mean, we have Halloween coming, and we haven't really. When the hell is Halloween? I don't keep track of any of the live dates currently. Yeah, I will try to make a few schedules, upcoming streams, and one of them may be jumping into the game and you know, play with any group that wants to have me, right? May end up being fatalities, but I'm up for that. When you stream, you should host a small event in a city of your choice, possibly when things aren't so stressful. Yeah, like I said, I'm up for anything, and I already prepare that. Most likely, I will die eventually, right? When I head out, and that's fine. Stress is a killer. That is true. Need to keep it under control. That's important. Really? No, it's not impossible. There are over 80 towers, and you can solo 2 towers. Trust me. You can. Trust me. There are multiple towers that you can easily capture without too much struggle, depending on where. Hidden Leo, that is our diva system. Multiple characters, siblings tied to their same reputation on one character, one account. So more on that later. People want to see other players, not NPC dynamic spawns. Yeah, well, the number one feedback have been the world is too empty, so that goes true when it comes to NPCs. But yeah, many players obviously also want to see many other players, and that is obviously a huge challenge because no matter what we do, there will always be groups that simply play as a group. There will always be some Zergs that play as Zergs, and an open sandbox where you can do and go wherever you want. We can't really force the Zerg to split up or have fair fights or enter whenever we say they should enter. That's up to the players, right? The only thing we can do obviously is to add variation on everything that promotes tactical, tight, small groups. That's why we try to do dungeons and locations that also have a lot of choke points, so a small group can actually change the outcome against larger groups. We are still gathering a lot of feedback on all of that when it comes to additional improvements to help the different playstyles and different sizes of groups, right? When you have more time, you should stealth join a guild with a voice change or dominate Midland. I have played with quite a few groups with being silent or even using voice changers. A few of them caught me, a few of them never caught me. Very interesting and quite fun, actually. Gives me a very interesting first-hand experience with other players. Rilla, I capture more than 2 towers. If I can do it, you can do it, okay? So it's not impossible to capture 2 towers for a solo guild. You can do it, Rilla. Trust me. Pick 2 towers that no one is protecting and take them. It doesn't take that long even. You just have to hold them for a second. You know that, right? You don't need to keep holding 2 towers. I think that's where you misunderstand. And I noticed a lot of people thought that was the case during the first PTR as well. They said, oh my god, there's way too few towers because everyone can't even be at this level because there's not enough towers. So that's the thing, Rilla. You only need to take 2 towers once, and that's it. You don't have to keep them. All right, so you can do it absolutely 100%. You can even do more than 2 towers. Rilla, I took over 2 supply towers while my guild was offline. It's not hard, man. Cause exactly. Anyone can take 2 towers without problems. Let's meet up on UE5 PTR in 2 weeks. We will see where we stand. Alright, let me jump down a little bit again, and then I think it's time to roll the dice. Roll the dice, right? We are... Holy shit, we're already 2 hours. Shit, I thought we had more time. So I guess it's time to roll it then. There's a huge demand for more FOV. It will reduce your GM's workload if players had the option to use higher FOV in game. What do you mean reduce GM's workload though? That's... The GMs won't do anything with FOV. What do you mean? Yeah. They will be locked. Maybe we'll increase the FOV a little bit if that's something the majority of our competitive fighters want and need. So no, spinning will always be part of the game. I would say spinning may not be the common only meta in duels anymore. That's the response, Tefra. You will have additional options that allows you to be very competitive even in duels without doing a single spinning. That's the end results if everything goes as planned. And in wars and everything else, you never spin. So it's just a fraction. It's just a tiny fraction. We have bounty hunting on the maybe list along with Epic. So it's a big maybe. That's why I don't want to really comment or promise anything. If it doesn't make it, then obviously it will be on upcoming roadmaps, right? We want to finish that system. There are some good, solid improvements to it, including rewards that makes it much more enjoyable, right? Running dead, naked to horse spawn and meet some outlaws. I mean, that's kind of obvious, right? What's going to happen? I mean, we added a lot of outlaws because people loved it and the game was still too empty. So it's not that you trigger them every minute. Obviously, it depends heavily also on how much rotation of players are out in the world. We see a huge difference now. Before there was a few hotspots, cities, dungeons, and points of interest camps where all the players were hanging quite still. Today we have a huge rotation of players where they cycle, rotate, and move around in the world. Much better, much more nicer. There's more interaction happening that way. The chances goes up, obviously, especially when more players join in on roaming the world. And all types of groups are enjoying the Outlaws and the fruits of the Outlaws, right? So I think it's absolutely on a good track. But obviously, if you're naked and run into a outlaw group, you're in for some problems, right? And have to re-gear somewhere else. You can always adapt and avoid that, especially if you know the game, right? Oh my, is the man himself looking good. Thank you very much, Mr. Prinkley. All right, let's roll the dice, guys, shall we? If you just tune in, last seconds to do exclamation mark ammo 2, and we will roll it. And you can join Nahuat Guild once table games come out. Absolutely gonna have socializing tavern sessions, including streams with the community when we have table games. I'm really much looking forward to that. Just chill in the game world and playing some games. That's gonna be lovely and very relaxing and nice. I can't say exactly when zombies cast under control. We will finish the last stuff in elementalism, and then after that we're gonna work on a few things in spiritism and necromancy, and maybe in ecumenical also, before we move forward after that. All right, it's roll time, guys. Let me jump down. I'm way behind again. Holy shit, I'm way too slow. Way too slow. All right. Need more base hunter, eh? Will it be patched before next stream? No. Most likely not. All right, I'm up to date. You need to get back to stream events similar to Squirrel's fishing event in Tuxai about a year ago. That was really awesome. Hopefully there will be more of that if the community want to run some of that. I love watching and following that as well. Veteran outlaws in jungle, please. There are tons of outlaws in the jungle, different kinds. Same type of coverage as in outside of the jungle. So there is a lot. All right, giveaway time, guys. Let me start the thing. The thing, you know, the thing. Where the hell do I have it? Let's stop that one. And where the hell? There. Okay. Good luck, everyone. Here we go. Here we go. You should add a clock in game. We have /time. /time. And that would tell you the in-game time. Not Earth time, but in-game time. Congratulations, Hua Shang. Hua Shang, are you in here? My program doesn't support those letters, so I can't even see who that was. Sorry, guys. I thought I read it correct, but my program didn't save the letters. I'm terribly sorry that that didn't turn out good. I guess you have to use normal letters or the program won't accept it. All right, I have to re-roll, guys. Here goes. There are veterans in jungle. Yeah, there's a lot. There's equal amount in this jungle as rest in the world. Sound right to me? I may mispronounce it, but I did my best. All right. All right. Let's see this time then. Rebold. Congratulations. Let's see. Let's see. We have. Yeah, that worked. That worked. Let's see, are in here rebold? Looks like you won a key back in 21. Is that correct, Rebold? Lucky son of a bee. Yeah. So you won back in 21 as well. All right. Let me find that key. Rigged. Rigged. Where the hell do I have my keys? No. Where the hell? No. Where the hell is the keys? Here. No? What the fuck? Where the hell? Can't find the keys, guys. Should be here somewhere. Here we go. All right. Found them. Congratulations, Rebold. There you go. He owns the application you are rolling from. What are you saying, cuz Germerks? What are you talking about now? Is the creator of that program here, or what do you mean? Enhanced reflections in Henrik's eyes. Sneaky. So that puts us on today's ending note. Ladies and gentlemen. Any more than kite shield? No, so one of the possible options for the community is new player gear. Either armor types, clothing, or weapon types. And kite shield is one of those options. So, I mean, the animation flash stuff that you see when we roll the key, our artists did that, so it's homemade. Pretty cool. So it all comes down to the community interaction. What kind of content and features do we want to have on the upcoming roadmaps? And we have some really solid options, and we will kind of color tag them in. You can't pick like two blue color features because they exclude each other's. You know, some of them may be in the same time frame, some of them doesn't fit as well. So it's a little bit of a puzzle. That's also why it's taken a little bit of time, and I haven't really had a time to finalize it yet, but I will soon. So you will see plenty of options initially. There will be something for each group that you can pick from RP socializing features to combat to TC to a completely new feature, such as boat ships or the dimension run, or anything like that. On UE5 late, I can run this one more time here. Little video of some of the current status of our lighting system, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. It shows the power of lumens and lightning and shadows bouncing, colors bouncing. Very, very realistic. And the performance is pretty solid, I have to add. Decoder hung well with the 5. That's something new. Is that a new Twitch function? I've never seen those green things anymore. Buff theirs has a mounted combat survivability. We have some stuff in mind for Thursa tweaks later on with the clades that will make them a little bit more interesting for sure. We have daggers and tower shields on the list when it comes to balance. There's a few things we want to do, and that will come in upcoming client patch. I'm not sure if it's going to be the next one or the next one again, but most likely there. Buff naked mages. When weapon skills come out, Thursos will dominate Nave. You guys going to fix guard towers? We are looking onto them, yes. Sometimes they work very efficiently, sometimes they don't. So we are looking into that. You did miss the giveaway indeed, Soul. I gave it out a few minutes ago. No veterans, outlaws in the jungle. Yeah, there are many outlaws in the jungle, including veterans. Like I said, they are quite evenly spread out on Milan right now. TC fishing banner, please, Henrik. Yeah, that may be something we can add. Like I said, if the community wants a lot more TC focused content or whatever, feature function, services, that may be, then that is one of those options, right? But like I said, it's going to be interesting to see where the players we have to choose something between a few groups, right? So it can't just all be combat or all be PvE. You know, there will be something in each category that fits in the upcoming roadmaps, and you will just simply help us pick the order of things, right? Veterans are not in there, but there are. Yoda error. There are. Trust me. Trust me. I placed them myself. One of the few things I actually had some time to do, help adding outlaws in the world. All right, everyone. I think this concludes my stream for today. I'm only 30 minutes overdue. I try to keep them at 2 hours so they don't get too diluted. And we always make a little recap video afterwards and put on YouTube, so anyone missing anything can always go check them out afterwards and go to the highlights. Yeah, we have tweaked the outlaws already for upcoming client patch. They will run a little bit slower. They won't do as much damage because they can't miss. They were designed to miss, but that function doesn't seem to be accurate. So for now, we are tweaking its damage. So yeah, it's going to be better. All right, let's do our classic raid, shall we? Let's see who is streaming today. I will do like we usually do. Let's help me with picking one. All right, 1 minute. Go. Vote. Vote. Not a well-known person. It's up to you guys. It's up to you. I think I already rated everyone, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. I don't remember CK Ford. But I rated everyone at least once, so that's why I thought you may as well vote and we will make it happen, right? So it's between Breaking Skulls and Bruce Lee Rob, two really awesome streamers. I think they're awesome. They bring a lot of nice noise to the game and they're doing some cool stuff always. So yeah, they're really good streamers. Oh, Bruce Lee. Oh, even. Oh my God. Even, guys. Come on. That doesn't help me much. It's a tie. Shall we? Okay, let's do a new one between those two only. It's between them, right? Let's do a new one. All right, finals. It's the finals. Coin flip. Goon, come on, stop with that nonsense. We're just getting the feedback now rather than the PTR, and we're following up on that. Stop with that nonsense. TC unplayable. People building TC every minute and sieging every minute. We are tweaking the balance. That's what we're doing based on the feedback we are finally getting. Hey, Crank Kong for the meme. Yeah, if he would stop accusing and lying, I would have no problem rating him. But he keep having such a temper and lying and saying Star Wars is corrupt and all kind of bullshit. And I don't tolerate that shit. Why? I never support that. So if he don't wanna remain somewhat neutral. He can still have opinions, right? But he can't write in his freaking headline lies. Come on, man. How can we get a split again? How do we do this? Do we do a how do I do a coin flip? Exactly. People can say whatever they want, but I won't support someone lying, right? That's just foolish. How do we do this? I don't have a coin flip function, right? Flip coin in a pocket. I don't have a coin. Yeah, what I mean, finally getting feedback is that we are finally getting that greater picture on what we need to do, right? To tweak and balance. We didn't get that enough during PTR because obviously everyone can't participate. Now we're getting it, so we're following up on that. So I hope that makes it clear. It takes a time. It's brand new. People are experimenting with it, and even today, learning how it works. People are still being confused a little bit. So it takes some time before people understands, and also when they understand, they change their opinion quite heavily. So we can't just patch every single day because opinions goes left and right. We did that in the first game and that hurt us a lot. Now we're collecting proper data, making proper tweaks, and then making proper patches. That's much better in the long run. All right. Vote for raiding skulls since it's new. Oh, good, Henrik, can't find them all. No, it's true, it's true. All right, shall we... do you agree on breaking skulls, or should I do a coin flip with something? It's your call, guys. Help me. My brain is exhausted. We did raid skulls last time, right? I think we did. I think both are awesome streams, so... either new poll. Okay, maybe the poll changed. One last time. Two awesome streamers. I think they're really nice people, and you know, just watching both of them stream is very enjoyable. I like it a lot, and I get hooked. I watch both stream a lot. Every time they stream, I keep it on the side. Very enjoyable. Really cool dudes. And you understand that Siege doesn't work. It does work, but I also understand where the challenge and balance issues is, right? So you know, we got a lot of feedback, and we have a pretty clear view on what we need to tweak. So we are following up on it. It's just that we're getting the feedback now, and we can't just throw away the entire Unreal 5 schedule and plan. The hopes was that we got more of that during PTR, but we understand we can't get all of that during PTR, right? It's just natural. It just doesn't happen, right? So we need some time and patience to get it really good balanced. All right, looks like Breaking Skulls is on the top today. All right. Let's raid Breaking Skulls then, guys. It's been a pleasure to hang out with you here today and talk about Mortal 9 2, a little bit of the future, and show this little progression of Unreal 5 in Mortal Online. Can't stay alive and build as an individual player without a group. Yeah, you can. Yes, absolutely you can. We have a lot of solo players, but it's a rough world, right? Focus on Unreal 5 and leave Unreal 4 behind. Let everyone whine. Then they will anyway. Yeah, we need to step over, and we will follow up on this. We have a good view. We have a lot of good feedback. So thanks to everyone, and thanks to all of your feedback to help us do this. We will get there. We're getting closer and closer, and exciting times ahead, guys. All right, thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for all your questions, donation, subscription, and all of that. And let's raid Breaking Skulls. Let's show him some support and all of that, you know. He's building a guild and a city with his new crew, so that's awesome to follow that progression. All right, here goes. Thank you for tonight, and I will see you soon again. All right. Great time. Bye-bye.